Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 PSN review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Frogger Returns, which if you've never played it before, it's just like the original Frogger, only like upgraded than that, and unlike the majority of Frogger upgrades and clones and stuff like that, it's actually really good. I think Konami have done a fantastic job. So anyway, at the start you've got single player, multiplayer, options, high scores. Options is literally music and sound effects and you can view credits. High scores is high scores. I'll start off with a single player where you've got an arcade mode, time trial mode, score attack mode and free play. They're all pretty much the same thing, just with slightly different objectives. Obviously free play, score attack, get high score, which is, to be fair, pretty much arcade mode. Time trial, do it in as fast as you can, and arcade mode is just regular arcade mode. It's new levels, so it's not like just a direct update of the original where everything's the same. The levels do actually change, and I'll do my best to show them off, but this game's not exactly the easiest when you have got concentration, let alone when you're reading notes, staring through a camera lens, etc, etc, etc. But it is still the same style of gameplay though, which I can mention and you might be able to see. The whole point is you have to cross past a load of hazards, get to the end 5 times, and then basically that's it, you go on to the next level. There's frogs you can collect, which basically give you more points. There's flies and that, which give you more points. And now there's also power-ups, and some of the power-ups I don't see why they put them in the single player, because it's so obvious once you've played the multiplayer that the only reason they're on the game is for the multiplayer. But then there are a few that do actually work on the single player. For example, the total invincibility that is so invincible that it actually allows you to jump across water and jump through traffic and that and not die. So that one's actually a bit of a cheat completely. It's very almost casualed up for it, but at the same time it works well on the way that they've done it, because it's not permanent and it's not for a stupidly long time, and it mainly works well when you're on the versus mode and one of you gets it and it basically screws the other one over. But anyway, before I cut onto the multiplayer mode, I did say I'd try my best to show off another level, so I'm just going to shut up for a bit, let you listen to some of the music, which I personally like, and hopefully then cut into another level. So there we go, that was a little bit of the music, and here's basically the second level. I'm not going to show all of them off, simply because there's only 4 levels, and it really would be a spoiler, because that is the only downside to it, the fact that there's only 4 levels, whereas on the original there were 5. And even more of a downside to a lot of people who actually care about trophies, there's only 4 trophies, 1 for beating each level. It's the type of thing that I personally don't care about, because I don't like the trophy system, simply because, well, I've had an Xbox before I had the PlayStation, and compared to the achievement system, I just don't think it works very well. But I do know that the trophy system is cared about by quite a few, so I thought I might as well mention that there are only 4 trophies for it. So anyway, on to the multiplayer modes. Right then, here we go. I'll mention this in advance. I'm controlling both players simply because I currently am on my own. The first thing I'm going to show off is the fact that you can kill each other by jumping into each other, even without the invincibilities or anything, so that's really cool. Then I'll go on to mentioning the other power-ups. There's basically things like reverse traffic, which is one over here, so I'll just try and get it. And as you can imagine, and as you would expect, it reverses the traffic. And that's one of them that, when I said at the start of the review, there's some that you can so tell they're there solely for the multiplayer, because reversing the traffic once you've passed the traffic isn't actually going to do anything at all on the single player, but on the multiplayer it can screw someone over. So speaking of multiplayer, I'll mention the modes now. There's basically classic race, where the whole point is to get from one side to the other. There's this mode here where the whole point is to collect flies and then get to the end goals. If you don't, then you don't get any other points from collecting the flies, and each of the flies are worth different points than that. And it's whoever gets the most points at the end of the time limit wins. And then there's also a normal fly mode where you don't have to get to the end of the goal, it's just collecting the most flies overall. And then there's a territory mode where even if you've went into a base, it doesn't mean that it's your base basically. It's other people can take it, and it's whoever's got the most bases overall out of the end of the timer wins the round. The multiplayer does work really well when you've actually got someone here to play it with you, but as I don't, I'm going to cut back into the single player just to finish off with what I'm saying. So here we go then. As I was saying, the multiplayer does actually work really well when you've got someone there. It's really fun, and it's the type of thing that if you've always been into Frogger and someone else in your family or friends has, then it's the type of thing you can really lose track of time. I mean, when this first came out, I played it with my brother for about an hour and a half without even realising that we've been on it for an hour and a half, because it's just so much fun and so fast-paced and furious, because that is the nature of Frogger, basically get from A to B as fast as possible. So basically, if you've always liked Frogger, this is a no-brainer. If you were umming and ahhing thinking about, because as I said again at the start, that so many of the Frogger sequels have been crap, if you were umming and ahhing, just get it. It's really cheap and really good. So there we go then, that's been the review. I hope you've enjoyed it, or at least found it helpful. You might have noticed I didn't score the game. Well, that's because it's a matter of personal opinion, and yours may very well differ from my own. I'm just here to show you a bit about the game. If you like it or not, well, that's up to you. If you don't like it, or you do like it, feel free to comment. Also, if I haven't answered any of your questions that you may have had, I might have forgot something, or it might just be something obscure. Again, feel free to comment, ask, always willing to help out. Otherwise, if you don't like commenting on YouTube, head over to www.vc-forums.com, where you can chat with me and a bunch of other lads who love the VC, the WiiWare, and hell, even a lot of other systems. We cater to pretty much everything. You can just go there, have a chat about a game, ask about some games, etc. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.